27 degrees today. Summer's coming. Christmas is coming. And there is not going to be Christmas for real estate. Stay tuned and we'll tell you why.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael BURGIO, Mark Novak, episode 550. No Christmas for real estate agents this year. I think we're going to have, we could have a similar look at last Christmas, Northern Beaches. We were locked down, but what we did notice was real estate kept going. Typically, a lot of agencies close beginning of December. Some don't open up till February after Australia Day with the little, like we work all the way through, but let's generalize it here. The perception out there and that you've got to get on the market for spring. The reason why spring is generally so busy, it's better time to sell, but you're also cramming 5 months into the 2 or 3 months because a lot of agents don't want to work through Christmas. So they're like, no one works through Christmas. We've got to list it now. But last year, didn't really see that traditional break or real estate close. Buyer inquiries kept coming through, exchanges kept coming through, and I believe we're going to see it again. We're either going to be locked down through it, despite the announcement open, yes, but we're either going to be locked down or we'll be open, but we'll work all the way through. But I just don't think, Mark, we're going to have that typical month off as an industry like we normally would.
Yeah. Well, don't forget that like selling an asset, like selling a unit or a house, may acquire one of these things or two of these things in your life. If you're going to dispose of that property, you're going to basically choose the optimal time to do it, the best. And in anyone's world, it would not be a good time in the last 12 or 16 weeks in a pandemic, in a lockdown, to dispose of your property. If you're going to book in a 4-week auction campaign and you've got the ability just to wait, a lot of people are waited.
100%. And that's not necessarily to get the best price because we've seen phenomenal prices. So anyone who did sell in that period, it's not that we're referring to. It's more the process, like how you normally perceive real estate, the open homes, the house being styled, the flags, everything out, like auctions, everyone on site. The general sort, you could almost say the ingredients to a sale, they've been warped. And we may look back in a year or two and go, wow, there's some stuff we really liked during that lockdown, which we can continue using. But for a lot of people, they don't like change. They don't like difference. They don't like anything. So a lot of people would have been like, I've envisioned selling my house with this campaign, that agent, with this process. And I can't do that process, so I'm going to wait. And I think a lot of people,
you want to go for a walk, but it's raining.
Yeah.
That's an analogy. You want to go for a walk with it, but it's raining. You know, you can still have a great old walk and have a great old time, but it's raining. And, you know, COVID's been like the rain for real estate, but it hasn't bloody stopped it. So now that it's all going to, it's going to clear up. That's the odds. You know, the lifting of this, lifting of that, 70% vaccination, 80% vaccination, all this talk. Summer, there is going to be a lot of property that hits the market, which it normally would, and there would be double the amount of property because people have abstained, not done it the last 12, 16 weeks. They haven't sold, they've held back. Here we go.
Yeah, because we find that regardless of what happens, people don't go, if the intent was to sell, you don't go, that doesn't go anywhere. It just gets pushed back. So if you think of the lockdown period, what's it going to be in October? 5 months or 4 months? Let's say in that 4 months, we would have normally had 100 people sell their property. We've seen about 50 of them continue that process, but 50 hold back. So then you think the first 2 months out of lockdown, if we're going to have 50 properties come on the market, typically we're going to have those 50 that waited. So there's going to be a huge amount of supply. And if you just think back to basics, supply and demand, we're going to have excess properties. We commonly see the same amount of buyers. We'll have a little increase. But when buyers have more choice of properties, you generally see less competition per property and a little bit easier on pricing, where we've seen phenomenal prices through lockdown. I wouldn't be surprised if people can go, lockdown was the better time to sell.
Yeah, well, if you know what, a really good indicator, guys and girls, a really good indicator for us real estate agents is people that are doing the work in bulk early. Our photographers are getting in there early, and they don't work with just us. They work with 20, 30 real estate agencies. Our auctioneers that work with us work with 30, 40, 50 real estate agencies. Now, auctioneers taking bookings and photographers taking bookings has gone absolutely crazy. So if you speak to people like Rob Lowry, our photographer, or people like Vic Larusso, our auctioneer, and ask them about their bookings, they are saying they are much busier and it's going crazy. Matter of fact, we were finding it hard this week to get our photographer booked in because he was so bloody flat out. What's that telling you and telling me? A lot of stock's going to drop.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I'm excited about how the government issued a date further in advance than how it has been typically. Is it allows people to get ready, especially restaurants, because how it sucked last time where there wasn't much notice. A restaurant can't just open the next weekend. They've got to get food in, they've got to do food prep, they've got to get staff. And there's a lot of businesses like that. So with a lot of people having a 6-week head start, well, what is it, September? Yeah, five weeks. I think we're going to have a really quick uptake compared to other times where we've seen other people come out of the lockdown where they may only get 2 weeks notice. We've got 5 weeks, so I think it's going to start pretty quickly.
Do you reckon prices are going to drop because so much property is hitting the market?
I reckon it's just going to stable. Yeah, it's not dropping. I think people throw the dropping out, but it's not like it drops. You just may not get as many crazy prices. I think pricing will be the same, but what we see is you see pricing be the same, and then you see a crazy price for a house. Then it's and then the next week you see another crazy price. Then it sort of sets a new level. I think we're just going to have the stability we've sort of been waiting for because there'll be more stock. I don't think you're a buyer. You're going to be like, I'm glad I waited. I got that house so much cheaper, because the properties that go that crazy 100, 300 grand at auction, so as an agent, you have a sneaking feeling that property could, but you just don't know. So if it was I think it would be very similar. I think it would just have a bit more stability.
So sellers, I think you have a beautiful window in the next 1, 2, and 4 weeks to hit the market and sell. Sellers, I think if you decide you want to go on in November, late November, you could have a lot of competition. You won't be selling in isolation like you are today. You'll be selling with a lot of competition out there, a lot more properties. We looked at, I don't know if you saw that post, Michael, that we ran yesterday with how many properties in the suburbs around us are on the market. I was absolutely floored with the lack of properties that are currently on the market, almost frightened by the number.
Yeah, it's like...
So that was what we posted. Like to have suburbs where there's 1 or 2 houses for sale only. Like,
it's too small. It's too small. Don't. Yeah.
To have suburbs where there's 1 or 2 houses for sale. It's on our social media. Check it out. 1 or 2 houses for sale. That is I've never seen that. Actually, you know what? Bruno Scaleccio, 92 years of age, real estate extraordinaire, my hero, DY guy. John Caputo, real estate agent, 50 years. I saw John in the Westpac Bank. I said, what do you reckon about this property market? He shocked me. You know what he said? 50 years, never seen it like this. And I thought to myself, we're real estate agents, we always like to talk it up. But he's an honest man, so I was like, hang on a sec. Then I talked to Bruno yesterday, and I said, honest question, Bruno? He goes, yeah. I got honest question. He goes, yeah. I said, have you ever seen the property market like this? No, I actually asked this. I said, what years have you seen the property market similar to this? 83 when it doubled, 87 when it doubled. He said, Mark, I have never seen the property market like this. I was floored, man.
Yeah, it's super unique. So
it's a unicorn. It's a unicorn market.
We'll also see, I think if you're a buyer out there, get on agents' databases, because a lot of people who don't directly come on in October may go, oh, it's too close to the end of the year, let's wait for next year, and be the first on the market in that sort of end of January, which a lot of agents would have the off-market listings, pocket listings, whatever you want to call them. I think a lot of agents will have stock signed up, ready to launch January, that you may be able to get through early, because that owner may be set on a campaign, so it won't be advertised as an off-market sale because they want to launch it all together, but they may be able to get you through prior. So I think buyers, a lot of buyers are pretty open. Like Mark, I was noticing the other day, we get so many less calls off a private number, so many less calls or buyer inquiries without a phone number. It's almost like people just...
I agree completely.
And that could be also privacy. Like, it's pretty easy for buyer inquiries, your Facebook, and you can get in contact with them. But also, I think it's in that buyers know there's a lot of stock being done off market through social media, so they don't want to miss out. So it's a little bit more like...
And COVID. I ask everyone what suburb they're coming from, because it's a COVID question that we have on our as part of what we do when we show buyers through. No one blinks an eyelid to give an email, a surname, and a suburb where they're from. I would have struggled with that any other time except for now. You're right. It's a really good observation. Like, to have that out there, it's powerful. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say? I think that's a wrap.
I think in conclusion, what we can say is that some people are rested from being locked down, and I think that they're going to come out of the gates not wanting to sort of have more time off. They're going to want to transact. So in conclusion, the Christmas break for real estate, I don't think is going to be like any other Christmas break. We denote the Christmas break for real estate sort of around the 22nd or 23rd of December, all the way up to about the 10th or 8th of January, that 2-week period. I think there's going to be more real estate transact in that period than we've ever seen in our careers.
Stay tuned. All righty. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good one.